Howdy, this is Karen from Karen Dawn Designs, and today I'm going to show you how to work two-color brioche. So in this example, the yellow is my main color and the red is my contrasting color. So MC is yellow, CC is red. So for brioche, the key things to remember are that you are going to be working each row twice. First with the main color, so in this case yellow, and secondly with the contrast color, the red. So it's very important that you use either circular needles or double pointed needles because you're going to be sliding the work back and forth. The other key to remember about brioche is that you're going to have these paired stitches, which are really one stitch. So for example, right here, I have this red yarn over that is coming over this yellow stitch. When you are working this stitch, this is really one stitch. Do not work the yarn over, the red yarn over and the yellow stitch as two separate stitches. They are one stitch. I've seen the yarn over stitch being called the shawl that is on the main stitch. So those are some key construction factors to keep in mind. So for the first row, we are going to be working with only the main color. So for this one, that is the yellow. So the yellow is your working yarn and you can hold the red aside. So the first thing you're going to do is knit the first stitch. Then bring the yarn forward, slip the next stitch, and then knit these two stitches, which again really are not two stitches, it's one stitch. So knit this paired stitch. And when you do that, because your yarn was forward, you've created this yarn over. So now you have a yellow yarn over on top of a red stitch. So again, you're going to bring this yarn forward, slip the next stitch, and knit both of those, and you've got your yarn over. Yarn forward, slip, again because your yarn is in the front, you're creating that yarn over when you knit. Yarn forward, slip, knit. So you can see you're creating the kind of the opposite. We have the yarn overs in red on the side we have not yet worked, and now we're having the yarn overs in yellow on this side. So keep doing that across to the end of the row. When you get to the end of the row, you continue doing the same thing. So yarn forward, slip, and now you only have this very last stitch here that you knit. So normally when you're knitting, here you would turn the work and go back the other direction. But for brioche, we need to work this row again using the other color. So you can drop your main color, the yellow, slide the work. This is why you need to use circulars or double points. Slide the work down to the other end, and now you can see your red yarn, the contrast color, is ready to be used. This time we're going to purl. So you can think of it as because the main color, the yellow, is the dominant color on this side, we're on the right side of the work. So when you're on the right side, you're going to knit using the main color and purl using the contrast color. So we start by slipping the first stitch as if to purl. You never want to twist stitches. And then you're going to purl the next stitch. But remember, these two stitches are really one stitch, that yarn over and the stitch. So purl that. Now here you're going to do kind of the opposite of the other. Before you brought your yarn forward and then you slipped. This time you're going to slip and then wrap your yarn around. So you're actually creating a yarn over. And purl. So I'll show you that again. Slip first, then take your yarn, wrap it around so it's back to the front so you can purl. Once more, slip, then wrap, and purl. And again, do this all the way across to the end of the row. When you get to the end, you're still continuing that motion, slip, yarn around, and purl. And this time when you come to the last stitch, all you do is slip it. Okay? Then this is where you go ahead and turn the work, because now we're going to do the second set of rows. So turn the work. Now we are on, because the red is the contrast color, now we are on the side where the red is dominant. So for this side, we're still going to work the yellow main color first and then the red contrast. Because this is the red dominant side, we're going to purl using the yellow and knit using the red. So starting with the yellow, you're going to purl the first stitch, and then just like on the previous row, slip, yarn around, and purl. Again, that yarn over and stitch is one stitch. Do them together. Slip, yarn around, purl. Slip, yarn around, purl. And continue doing that across the row. When you come to the end, you will slip, yarn around, and the last stitch gets purled. Once again, we need to work this row a second time using the red. So to get back here to the red, you need to move the work all the way down to the other side. So again, you must use circulars or double pointed needles. And we will work this row using red. So once again, because we're on the red side dominant, red is going to be a knit row. So slip the first stitch and then knit the second stitch. And again, these two stitches are really one. Then bring the yarn forward, slip, knit the pair. Yarn forward, slip, knit. Yarn forward, slip, knit, just like you did on that very first row, and continue doing that across the row. When you get to the end, yarn forward, slip, knit, and then just slip the last stitch. And since now we've worked that row with both colors and both of the working yarns are on the same side, you can turn to be ready to work the next pair of rows. And we're back to the beginning pattern. So you'll use the yellow yarn, do the knitting across, then slide it down, use the red yarn and purl. Then turn, use the yellow yarn and purl, slide, use the red yarn and knit. So that's the basic pattern, and that is how you get one side with yellow dominant and the other side with red dominant. I hope you found this tutorial video helpful. If you have any questions, you can contact me on Ravelry. I am Karen Dawn. Make sure to subscribe to this channel for more knitting tutorials, including more on brioche.